So, Dulce Alavez. Like, subscribe, ID in the Discovery Channel. Yes, ID in the Discovery Channel. The links are provided below. Get that Discovery Go app as well as the ID Go app. You might want to get those two things, combine them, make them into one. ID Go app, I'm sorry. And I'm a Discovery influencer. That's indeed a fact. That can even be traced back to Discovery. So, Dulce Maria Alavez, age 6 years old, was last seen on September 16th, 2019 on a Monday while at Bridgeton City Park, which is located behind Brighton High School. Bridgeton High School in New Jersey. Dulce was wearing a yellow shirt with a koala on the front, black and white pants with butterflies and flowers on them, along with white sandals. Contact FBI if you or anyone know or has any information on her disappearance. Call 1-800, call FBI. Where could there's because see, I always say because see, I'm gonna get to that before I jump ahead of myself. So the mother account, Dulce's mother, her account on the child's disappearance, 19-year-old Noema Alavez Perez, stated she was 30 yards. Because, see, I was trying to figure that out. To be 30 yards away from your child, right? And you sitting in a car, that was the mother's account. To be 30 yards away, there's a timing issue or something. Usually when kids go missing, there always is some type of timing issue. As in a problem, because I think sometimes mothers, fathers don't want to get in trouble by law enforcement by coming out stating the truth. But let me pause on that. I'm saying that pertaining to when a child goes missing, sometimes a parent will say, well, I was 10 minutes, so I was 5 minutes, we were only at the park, or we were only at this location for 5 or 10 minutes, and yet to add everything up is to know that's not complete truth, as in once you configure as mathematics and all the equations with that, it doesn't usually add up properly, I'm saying, right? So once again, mother of Dulce said she was 30 yards away from the child. She was sitting in a car with her 8-year-old sister, scratching a lottery ticket. Consider a lottery ticket as in some people's minds become consumed by stuff like that. Remember, lottery is a big deal, right? But it doesn't take a long time to scratch off a ticket. Noema, the mother of the child, she got out of the car to check on her kids because she couldn't see them. She found her son as he stood crying that Dulce was gone. I always question the timing of the scratching of the ticket. To know a lottery ticket is a very big deal, right? Some people let that once again consume their mind, and yet it doesn't take a lot of time to scratch a lottery ticket off. So people scratch it real quick, right? But it's still something that's off about the story pertaining to the timing. Not saying the mother had not trying to place no guilt trips on her. No, but something about the timing. I don't know. Noema thought Dulce was playing a game of hide and go seek because she didn't want to believe somebody could have taken the child, right? Taken her. She didn't want to believe that in the beginning. The kids were only at the park for 5 to 10 minutes before Dulce disappeared. That's 5 to 10 minutes. Because even let's see, if I were somebody and that's not my game in life, kidnapping children is not my game. But I'm thinking, even if a kidnapper, I would think, would want to settle in on the situation, as in do it quickly, right? But give it enough time where the mother is not seeing. Don't usually, if kidnappers are scoping out, I thought usually kidnappers, if they know that a parent is involved and say whoever kidnapped this child, right? Usually they will scope out the environment pertaining to, even if they knew the environment before, right? But more so if a mother is there. I'm thinking a kidnapper will want to wait just enough to keep the focus on the mother, to make sure she's not paying attention, so that they can grab the child enough not to be seen by the mother. Now, some kidnappers have in fact been seen by parents or mother or father of a child, right? What's that movie with Halle Berry in it? Isn't it called Kidnap? That movie where her son got kidnapped, right? And she was fighting with a man in a female as she drove in a van chasing them. Was it Kidnap? Halle Berry was in that film, right? Her son got kidnapped, but the guy that did it, he was scoping her out. She got on the phone, made a call or whatever, and that's when they kidnapped her. Usually I'm thinking if a child is with a mother, I can sense that sort of thing. If a child is with a mother in an environment, right, I'm thinking a kidnapper is going to scope out that mother, as in that takes time. Let me pay attention to this mother's actions and behaviors and her whereabouts. That gives me enough time to go kidnap this child, because more than likely her eyes is not on the child. Scoping out an environment like that, keeping the eyes or watch on the mother, that sort of thing takes time. Longer than 5 or 10 minutes, I'm thinking. I can guess that sort of thing. And I'm jumping ahead because I want to say, I'm thinking as a little boy was standing there, her son crying, he could have, it just seemed like it took longer than 5 or 10 minutes to, when she said they were at the park for 5 to 10 minutes or something like that. Something, maybe I'm off track with the math, right? We at the park for we was at the park for 5 to 10 minutes, and then my child got kidnapped. It still seems off. Because the trace and track and all that is take forever on even this screen, right? Yeah. Not to make her once again accused, but yeah, and guilt, but that's not. Moving on. So, Noema expressed she felt that she didn't keep a closer watch on Dulce. You see what I'm saying? This is what mother of the child stated. She expressed she felt bad that she didn't keep a much closer watch on the child as she sat in the car scratching the lottery ticket. That's the configure once again, the timing. They had to have been there longer, as in the watch looking after the child. The eyes were off of the child by a parent longer than she stated, right? Noema searched for Dulce behind a building at the park, and Dulce was nowhere to be found. Noema said she yelled out to Dulce and the child didn't respond. No answers, no replies, nothing, right? In the beginning, investigators stated they were on the search for a Hispanic man. That was the to say, okay, well, the guy is Hispanic, right? If the child's brother saw him, right? That's to say that's an eyewitness account, right? Let me go back. In the beginning, investigators stated they were on the search for a Hispanic man who was said to be seen walking Dulce to a red van from the park. The van had a sliding door and tinted windows. Now, if the child's brother, because even that's in question, right? To see my sister, if that's completely, say, the proof there as in verified, right? I'm thinking me, unless the child was in shock. Any child, I'm just stating anybody, any child or whatever. I'm going to, in fact, run back to my mother That's where it doesn't add up. If a young listen, if a young child brother, right, sees his sister being kidnapped or taken or whatever, and he stands and he cries, he just stands there. He could have been in shock, right? He could have felt whatever he was feeling right enough to not make him move. You don't know what a child is thinking, right? But I'm thinking a child more likely is not gonna just stand crying. A child is more likely gonna run back to his mother. That's a child's instinct, number one instinct. Oh my God, or oh my goodness, or whatever. My sister just got kidnapped. I witnessed it, and I'm crying in tears, and I'm possibly full blown in tears. I'm not just gonna stand there crying until my mother comes and approaches me to see what's wrong. More likely, a child's first instinct, inclination is to run back to your mother. And even timing is indeed in that. Because you would want to ask, well, did the child really stand there and cry full of tears, as in ball full of tears, knowing his sister was kidnapped? Or was he told by a parent, such as a mother or father, was his child told that so that investigators wouldn't look deeper into the mother possibly not being where she say that she was, pertaining to a kidnapper's footing? You can say, well, I was here and I was sitting here. She already came out her mouth and said already that she felt bad that she didn't keep a closer watch on Dulce. So a mother that will take the time and not be watching her child all like that will feel enough guilt to tell even her son, her baby boy, yes, I'm able to add that up. That if it was her son that seen that kidnapper, right, a mother will feel enough guilt to tell her son, say that you were still there standing and that you didn't run back to me. Something about that is off. I can't see being a little boy, because hold on. Now, if you got a mother and she sees this red van, you got to understand, as in pinpoint in every direction, right? But I still focus on the son, because I'm thinking if you're gonna more likely be a young boy and run back to mommy. But if, say, the mother saw the red van drive off or whatever, right? That mother is going to get in her own vehicle and chase behind that red van. There's no getting away seeing that red van drive off like that. If you are a mother watching that happen, you're not going to do that. You're going to get your son, hop in your vehicle, and chase whoever done took your child in that red van. So, yeah, something doesn't add up about the account, as in who saw this young little girl being walked to that red van, because there has to be a chase somewhere, as in there's going to be a chase. As a little boy, let me run off and chase my mommy, as in run back to where she is, so that we can get in our car and chase after this red van. Whose witness account is off and timing is off? I just can't see that. But see, a 19-year-old, she may or may not have had the proper logical reasoning, problem solving skills enough to do that. Well, I'm 19 years old. Let me hurry up. Because see, that's enough time. The red time goes back to it. That's enough time for that 19-year-old to get in her vehicle and put the foot on the gas and chase whoever took her child. As in asking the witness who seen what, which direction did he go? The guy in the red van. Enough for her to get in, once again. But if the timing is off, then that's it. That's to say everything's off, right? Pertaining to the mother, the child's mother. If you are off in footing as if you lied about the timing that there's no chase. It can't be because it was too much time enough to allow the kidnapper to get away. So in the beginning, investigators stated they were on the search for a Hispanic man. I said that he was in that red van, right, with the tinted windows. October 4th, 2019, Bridgeton police stated they investigated over 500 vehicles and over 200 locations with no trace of Dulce. So, questions. Noema, mother of Dulce, feels someone who knew the family personally could have taken Dulce. She feels that it could have been someone that knew the family personally, and that person being a Hispanic male who was last seen leading Dulce to that red van with the sliding door, and tinted windows, right? She said that, yeah, personally, the person could have, that Hispanic male could have knew the family personally. But what if it was someone from the school that could have taken Dulce? The child was in proximity to a school. That was the location, right? Okay, so if mother of Dulce's, if she senses someone she knew personally took Dulce, then there must have been a dispute amongst the old family friend. She felt that an old family friend to the family could have taken the child, right? And I feel like, well, if they took the child, then there must have been some issue between that mother or something and the family friend. Remember, old, not just family friend, old family friend. To say old is to know that there was some history and some past there, and something could have happened in the history in the past, which could have made whoever kidnapped the child, right? That's why you always want to say old family friend the way that she said old family friend, and not just family friend. Because to say old family friend is to say there could have been unresolved issues leading to kidnap, right? What other reason would there be for that male to kidnap the child? So many may feel sex trafficking, or he could have wanted to molest the child. Yet notice the mother never gives more detail on that old family friend. She never gives more information on the old family friend. That's the first thing you want to do once your child goes missing. It's always with these missing children cases, it's always something and profound says pertaining to, there's always some issue with a parent and somebody else as unresolved, undealt with disputes or something, right? Something. It had to have been or something for old family friend to come in and just take a child or something. Yeah. I said that 10 times. The mother never elaborates on just who that old friend is and was. That stands out more than anything. It always has to stick and stay as in be at the forefront of everything. Because that's the reason why the child is gone. So I hope the young mother doesn't owe anyone drug money. I'm considering her age, knowing society, they said society is more moving towards the high drug epidemic, right? It's already here, right? You got a lot of, yes, proliferated with drug use, right? You're gonna question all up and down with that. Could there have been any drug ties owing drug money? Because to take a child, yes, what even that is to say that could have been, but we don't fully know. That's just questioning, right? And I didn't say that the mother was on drugs. I know I didn't say that. You gotta look at everything. 19 years old is very young. Could it? Yeah, because to owe someone something is to say, yeah, a child could be kidnapped. That's with anything, right? That could have been a setup, as in it had to be a setup if the mother knew or felt that that person was an old family friend. That's to say that's a setup, right? On the end of the kidnapper. It's a setup. A setup because, see, I just said it. That's awareness, right? To say setup is to know that whoever took the child followed the mother to the park, right? Followed them to the location where the child went missing. But why is still the question. Why is still the question. As in, how did they even know that the mother was going to be at that park? That's to say, whoever took the child trailed along for miles on end, following that mother. And a 19-year-old, more than likely, with their awareness everywhere, more than likely wasn't paying attention to even if vehicles was behind her, following her, scoping her out or something. Usually a 19-year-old is not going to pay attention to that type of stuff. Well, somebody's been following me since I left the house. There's no type of way. See, because when you out in public, you can run into people. But I'm thinking a kidnapper, for kidnapper's eyes, is going to want to be on taking a child, as in getting a child from the child's mother. That's to say, a kidnapper, in order to set up something like that, the kidnapper had to have been thinking before and then followed the mother. But would the kidnapper had been driving down the street and say, oh, there's Dulce's mother riding down the street and she got the kids. Some vehicles have where you can't even see if kids is in the back seat. Remember, some kids are short, right? That factors in as well. If that kidnapper rode past randomly Dulce's mother, right? Seeing her driving in the car and say the kidnapper didn't follow Dulce's mother from their home, from the family's home. That's to say, the kidnapper was out driving in public, Dulce's mother was out driving in public, and somehow they came across one another. And yet she wasn't aware and wasn't paying attention, possibly didn't even see him, and then he followed her, trailed along behind, and got to the park, right? He possibly had set up in his mind years ago that he was going to kidnap the child or something, right? Never did it or something. Something's wrong there. Why wait to kidnap till later on, right? But say if those two people, the kidnapper and the child's mother, say if he seen her driving out in public, right? Would he have not been able to see a young Dulce in the car? Remember, consider the height of even a child in a car, right? He might have seen the little boy if the little boy was in the front seat, or maybe he seen Dulce if she was in the front seat. You have to question all that, right? If he didn't follow her from her house, if the kidnapper didn't follow Dulce's mother from her house, that's to say, he bumped into her out in public, and yet she didn't see him. I have to keep going back to that 6 or 7 times to see where they came across each other enough for this kidnapper to follow this mother to the location where the child came up missing, right? Yeah, because even that's not precisely adding up. How would a man know which kids are in the car unless they don't have their seatbelts on? Some kids hang out all the way out of the car window and all the rest. You would have to know or something, right? But then again, consider the timing of the school, right? Pertaining to, for example, if a child goes to school and the mother goes to pick up the kids, right? I'm just going to throw this in there as an example. Let me throw this in there as an example. If an old family friend knows what time kids get out of school, right, and know that there's a park in the same location, right, is to say it's easier for an old family friend to kidnap a child, because remember, if that child were to go to that school, the old family friend would know that, right? He would just be there waiting. There would never need to be, oh, let me uh set up something or orchestrate something extra with that sort of thing, because I already know that the child goes to this school, the park is in relation to that, all that type of stuff. And yet something is more with this story. It would take too long to even decipher it all the way down, is what I'm trying to say, pertaining to even the setup of the kidnapper, because it's something more that the mother is not telling, is what I'm trying to say. And the longer hours that you spend deciphering it down, it will start to point back to her, as in what issues did she have with that kidnapper, what problems or something, what type of problems, what issue. Let me see. What would make, first off, what would make that old family friend want the child now all of a sudden, and not years before? That's where the mother comes in. And she's more likely feeling guilty enough, right? Because that's where lies on the end of the mother will start to play out, pertaining to not telling the full truth. What would make a old family friend want the child now all of a sudden, and not years before? Because that will make you question what type of relationship did they have, the mother and the kidnapper, within a now period and not in the past. Was there any interaction now in this day and age, and more so than in the past, that will make that kidnapper take that child? Old family friend. What could have happened in the now? Because usually if a kidnapper was an old family friend, I said that 1,000 times. A kidnapper, old family friend, would that kidnapper, old family friend, wouldn't he have taken the child years before? I keep coming back to that. And yet to have some type of interaction with that old family friend in the now, and have some issues with that old family friend, as I say, that can lead to a child being taken. So what was the unresolved issue or problem between the interaction of the mother and the kidnapper in the now? Something had to have happened between that child's mother and that abductor. Yes, something. First thing that stood out to me was the kidnapper old family friend, was he ever a boyfriend to the mother of the child? See what I'm going with this? Some people say old family friend, and they don't tell you that, oh, well, he used to be my boyfriend. Or maybe that wasn't the case. Maybe that old family friend has some issues or molestation problems or something, that even the family knew about him, right? And they're not telling her something. Something is covered. Could someone have owed someone something enough for, I questioned that already, about her maybe owing someone, maybe the family owed somebody something, right? So Dulce wasn't, when she got into the vehicle, her being walked to that red van, right? She wasn't seen fighting him, the abductor, Mr. Kidnapper, right? She wasn't fighting him. So that tells somewhat of, I'm believing he may have been in the company of the child a few times, possibly, quite often in the past. Or he could have put her at ease enough to have her go with him. To put her at ease is to talk her into that sort of thing. And yet to be an old family friend is a say. Yeah, because you do too want to question how many times could he have had access to the child as an old family friend. How often was he around the child at any time? Years back, history, or in the present, in the now, in which the mother is not saying enough to make that child feel comfortable enough to walk with him and not be fighting against him. Because even that will tell somewhat on the mother. You're not trying to tell on the mother, you're trying to help find the child for the mother, and yet even that's going to start to pull out even more information on the mother. If a child is too comfortable with that kidnapper because he was a old family friend, as I say, Dulce was in his company and could have been more so in the now enough to get in that van just to be walking, because something is still wrong. Because pay attention, something is still wrong, because to for the son to be crying, Dulce's brother to be crying, if Dulce was comfortable enough to know the old family friend, if he didn't put her at ease, I'm sure he did, but say if they were around each other, there's attachment. If I'm a child and I'm around an old family friend, I'm going to become somewhat attached a little bit, right? That's to say, even her brother, Dulce's brother, would have become attached a little bit to that old family friend. So I'm thinking the child wouldn't be all crying like that or something. Does that or does that not make sense? Make sense, dear viewers. I'm thinking that brother wouldn't be crying like that. Because the brother would be possibly just enough comfort level, unless that old family friend, something is there between that mother and that old family friend. There must have been some abuse issue, something. Because for a young brother, that's to say there was fear there, right? For the young brother to be crying, that's to say that he had a fear of his sister being taken, but he had to have some type of fear attached to the abductor as well, that old family friend. And yet if that old family friend was around the family long enough, why would the young brother be in fear of that abductor, old family friend? The young boy should have a comfort level with the old family friend, unless something was wrong with the old family friend and the family knew about it or something. Children do get attached to grown men, such as old family friends, right? And I said that, and it's enough not to be crying like that. I'm thinking the young boy, the abductor would have told the young boy, I'm taking Dulce with me, we're coming right back. Kidnappers do that sort of thing. And I'm thinking that's not going to make a young brother cry like that. He might have been thinking, no, don't take her or whatever, right? But the comfort level between the young brother, the young boy, and that kidnapper, if they knew each other, that kidnapper, I'm sure, would have said to that young boy, I'm taking Dulce to the store or whatever, we're going right around the corner, I'll be right back. The brother would have been like, well, I've been knowing him for years anyway, or I've been knowing him or whatever, right? It depends on how long or how much the brother of Dulce knew the kidnapper, that old family friend. Because you have to question, well, how old was the friendship pertaining to even this young boy knowing the old family friend? Was he around? Was a young boy alive years back when the mother was interacting with this old family friend? But why is Dulce comfortable enough to go with this old family friend, and yet the brother is not comfortable enough seeing his sister leave with the old family friend? That tells a lot of stuff. To run rings around that is to start coming out on the mother. I said that. One child is not going to be willing to just go and then another child just be crying. And not only that, why didn't the kidnapper take both of the children and not just one? And not only that, where's Dulce's father at? Because all that will start to be questioned. Question: who is this old family friend? As in, who's all her old family friends? Were there any boyfriends? Was it anybody she had sex with? Any type of relationship type of thing? Any father of a child type of thing? Who is these people in connection to these mother? Yes, and their child going missing, right? Uh, yes, because I'm thinking if I'm a kidnapper, in which I've never been, I ain't got no type of interest in it. But if I'm a kidnapper, I'm thinking I'm gonna take the little boy and the little girl. But some kidnappers and do have a preference, right? But I will question and try to see through on even a family, Dulce's family, if even they knew that he had kidnapping. Because people don't always tell, well, he was a kidnapper, child molester, whatever, and they try to brush that up under the rug. And then that's, you know, their child goes missing or whatever, right? Or it fits hand in hand, right? The family of Dulce is keeping secrets. So mother of Dulce claimed she and the kids were only at the park for 5 to 10 minutes. I stated that. She said that once again she was there for 5 to 10 minutes at the park before Dulce disappeared. I gotta put that back in there, because that 5 to 10 minutes always has to stay in question. Uh, Usually I'm thinking kids will run around and play at a park, right? That's to be at a park in 5 to 10 minutes and then be swooped up by a kidnapper, right? Kidnappers do work and operate quickly, right? Yeah, that's just wrong. Is no. Uh, so yeah, they had those kids had to have been playing longer than yeah. So yes. To say you were at a park for 5 to 10 minutes, no. The kids had to have been playing longer or something. Stay stuck with that, dear viewers. Try to figure that out. So description, Dulce, date of birth April 25th, 2014. Her eyes were brown. Her weight was 60 to 70 pounds. Her race was white / Hispanic. Her hair brown and long. Her height 3 feet. Her sex female. And the reward, FBI is offering a reward of up to $5,000 for more information on Dulce's whereabouts. Yeah. I'm stuck on the time. I just am. Yeah, I just am. Because the timing, yeah. The mother, you should always want to come out and say, well, yeah, I had some type of issue with him, or we had some type of family dispute, or, you know, I couldn't get rid of him, or my family couldn't get rid of him. Sometimes, yeah. You got stalkers out here, people that stalk, old family friends stalk. You don't want to be bothered, so they take your child. Maybe that was the situation, right? We're on investigationdiscovery.com. The ID logo stands in the far left corner. Live now, shattered. New episodes. To gain access to this is to provide who you're subscribed to. That's the only way you're going to get into that, because it's padlocked down. Unlocked episodes. To receive an audio visual preview is to click the play button and you would in fact receive an audio visual preview on that. Recommended for you. Shouts out to Lieutenant Joe Kenda as well as Paula. ID Go original series. There needs to be more documentaries on the coronavirus. To receive a newsletter from Investigation Discovery is to type your email address in and click next. Dear viewers, I try not to go too fast on the screen. Had to slow it down. That prevents people from getting dizzy. So I'm going to enjoy my day. May you enjoy yours, dear viewers. Let me know what you think about the video. What could have occurred? Families do hold secrets. There's not a lot else to be said about that. So once again, may you enjoy your day. I will in fact enjoy mine, and I'm gone. 1.